Last time, we talked about how autistic people can be very formal in the way we speak and our choice of words. Whilst some of us can relax and be ourselves with those we're extremely close to, that formality is usually extended to everybody else we interact with. But if we're that formal and polite to everyone, how do we distinguish our language and behaviour when dealing with a VIP, a policeman, or a medical professional? The answer is that some of us don't. The line between an autistic and a non-autistic mind is a narrow one. Yet even those subtle contrasts can make profound differences to our individual verbal spectrum. The words and manner we choose are an outward expression of our perceptions and feelings. Let's explore that interaction as we talk about respect and authority. If you have any interest in autistic life, then it's important you understand masking. And there's a great deal of content to learn from, including on this channel. If you'd like a more academic take on it, I highly recommend the recent paper by Kieran and Amy that I've linked in the description. Masking is a defensive tactic of hiding the signals that mark us out as different. It's an attempt to blend into the crowd, and the formal style of communication we talked about last time is itself a masking technique. Although our often neutral accents and polite, inoffensive manner might actually make us more noticeable in some ways, it also acts as a partial defence against aggression and misunderstandings of our natural selves. Masking isn't uniquely autistic, though. Everyone masks temporarily to some degree in their lives. When someone talks to their boss, when they're in church, in school, or meeting someone in authority, the mask goes on. It just goes by different names. We call it decorum, protocol, ceremony, or even appropriate behaviour. Short-term masking like that is as much self-preservation as autistic masking is. Society is underwritten with complicated rules that maintain the social pecking order, which people follow so as not to fall foul of the wrath of those they fear. The CEO of the company might swear like a trooper when they're with their other CEO friends, but if an employee should do the same, they could find themselves fired before they could say, "Oops, I forgot the rules." Everyday verbal communication is riddled with countless twisted strands of context, which are often lost on autistic people. The irony of the deference that most people pay to those in authority is that those elaborate gestures of respect are often a lie. One may kowtow to one's boss in public, whilst cursing them behind their backs for their ignorance and bad decision-making, or greet a serving politician on a walkabout with honorific titles when we would never dream of voting for them. These rules are not for the benefit of the person we mask for. Their real purpose is to protect us from tripping ourselves up by telling influential people what we really think of them. We do this because those we prostrate ourselves before have power over us. They can fire us, prosecute us, bar us from places we want to go, or socially ostracise us. The rules are a deception justified by the damaging consequences of failing to keep up the pretense. Let me ask you a question. Raise your hand if you think that the people you alter your behaviour for are better human beings than you. Do you think that if you had their advantages, had the same education, knew the same people and had the same lucky breaks, you couldn't be in the same position as them right now? Are they kinder than you, more generous, caring, inclusive, selfless, tolerant, honest, or morally aware than you? Have they the same fortitude, endurance, ingenuity, and adaptability that's got you through life? When stood naked and vulnerable, is there anything about them which gives them an intrinsic right to lead a happier, easier life than you? If your hand didn't go up, then you're some of the way towards understanding the way many autistic minds work. If you can already see the elaborate deception behind the social rules that mask the inequalities of society, then you're a step further. Autists often start out in life treating everyone we meet the same way and with the same level of respect and trust. That respect for someone starts at 100%. That means we see them as equal, faults and all. We expect them to do the same for us, to treat us with human dignity and to trust us to be honest and good-natured. To regard someone as an equal is the ultimate expression of respect. It means that we hold their life, their thoughts and their feelings in as high a regard as our own. There is no higher accolade. If someone is dishonest, then they lose some of that esteem. If they are unkind or cruel, they lose more. And if they are selfish, thoughtless, callous or willfully negligent, they slip further down the scale until eventually they drop off. Some people manage to achieve this remarkably quickly. In contrast, the complicated tangle of social contracts that govern accepted behavioural norms oblige new people to prove their worth unless they already hold the free pass of power or position. This inbuilt mistrust and scepticism of the motives of other people puts everyone on a defensive footing before we start. The societal norms perpetuate a disparity inequality that prevents us from trusting other people unless they can demonstrate certain credentials of class, profession or expertise, or earn it over time. Those social rules also dictate that anyone who doesn't follow them, who doesn't play the game of proving their worth, is weird or a misfit, allowing them to be excluded or even bullied. That's often the fate that befalls autists when meeting new people. If it happens often enough, it may even rob us of any sense of trust in other people and reduce our expectations to zero. But that's a subject for another day. While someone is worthy of sufficient respect, many autists will continue to treat them the same way. That might be quite formal and may seem guarded to some, but that's to avoid the backlash that being too familiar brings. Everyone is flawed, us included, and so there's leeway between that 100% starting point and the point at which we give up. But during that time, you'll see the same face that everyone else does. How much leeway will depend on the individual, so some may make more allowances than others. When someone gets to the point where they've burned up the respect and trust they started with, they are simply erased. They become functionally dead to us. Our communication with them becomes the bare minimum required to survive, which may be none at all. Having a fancy title or an important position doesn't make someone better than us or worthy of more respect, because equal is the highest esteem anyone can be held in. You already have that respect regardless of title, position, colour, gender, sexuality, social class, religion, disability or anything else you were born with, learned or earned. We're talking to you, so that means we have respect for you. Our judgment of your value will be based on your actions and your behaviour and nothing else. It's when we stop talking to you that your respect has dried up. Some people have framed the common autistic tendency to treat people as equals until proven otherwise as gullibility or poor character judgment. Others take offence that we don't offer deference to those with titles or important positions and describe it as insolence or impertinence. Still others attempt to pathologise it as a neurological dysfunction or a sign of immaturity. I would contest that such accusations are an intentionally negative way of framing something that is actually quite beautiful. How much happier would our world be? How much conflict and misery would be avoided if we could all just learn to respect and trust each other as a starting point, rather than expecting people to earn it? Thank you for watching. Please click on the left to subscribe for new content and help the channel grow, or on the right for another video, or visit autistic.com.